NDTV is in the crisis-hit island nation Sri Lanka. We are reporting right outside, that is very close by to the Golf Face roundabout. What you see right behind me is a huge battalion of police. There's heavy army presence as well. There's huge barricading. In fact, just within a few meters away from President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's official residence. So what you see right behind this particular barricading is that there is Central Bank of Sri Lanka. You have the official residence of Gotabaya Rajapaksa as well, including the foreign ministry. So what we see here right at the moment is several, especially water cannon vehicles being stationed, police vans being stationed. This is as a precautionary measure just hours after where we did of course witness huge vandalism and also several properties of ministers, MPs and also government body members, or where their properties were completely damaged by the anti-government protesters. Also to show you onto my right is especially the landmark location, what especially the Sri Lankans call it Gota Gogama. It's a village that was very recently created just about 2 months ago, when the citizens of Sri Lanka decided to take to the streets right here to in fact ensure the Rajapaksas step down. This is something that we understand just hours after, where the protesters are back to Gota Gogama. They are protesting, holding placards and also shouting slogans. The tents are back and they continue to say, whether Mahinda Rajapaksa has stepped down as the Prime Minister of the country, all that they are looking forward now is, why is Gotabaya Rajapaksa not stepping down? The latest that we also bring to you is protests have erupted across the island nation Sri Lanka and clashes have been reported. Several of them have been injured. Over 250 have been injured. That is the number we are getting from the police. That apart, in terms of the vandalism or the damage that's been caused to especially properties, stands above 100. This includes especially majorly to do with the MPs, ministers of the ruling party. Several vehicles of over 100 vehicles, in fact, completely damaged and burnt by the anti-government protesters. It's important to understand how exactly this protest, the peaceful protest that's been happening over the last 2 months, how exactly did it turn violent? In fact, some of the sources, reliable sources, and also speaking to the angry protesters, because they are the tax-paying citizens, they tell us that there was an information that they had received. These ministers, the reason why they had to attack and bring down these properties was the ministers and various, in terms of politicians and leaders, they had stockpiled on various essential commodities, while you have the citizens, lining up right outside cooking gas stations, also with regard to the food essentials running short of. Now that is one of the major reasons for the attack and the damage of the properties. Now the trigger for this was only after, where we understand, several group of supporters of Gotabaya Rajapaksa and also Mahinda Rajapaksa, where they had met both of these, the leaders of Sri Lanka and President and the Prime Minister, after which we understand the pro-government protesters launched an attack on the anti-government protesters who were protesting peacefully right here, just a few meters from where we are reporting from. So that was one of the major reasons for this, the peaceful protest turning violent. But what we know at the moment is that the curfew has been now extended till 7 a.m. on Thursday, this as a precautionary measure. But citizens in Sri Lanka say that they will continue to protest no matter what, even though the forces, that is the tri-forces, have been given orders in terms of shooting those who are taking law into their own hands, that is especially those who are vandalizing public properties or looting. Despite that, we understand several protesters have come onto the streets and they're continuing to fight for Sri Lanka. In Colombo, with camera person Govind Murthy, Shrija for NDTV.